How you guys doing today? Today I want to talk about Vantage Score, an actual company out there that helps with determining your credit worthiness to getting approved for loans and so forth. I want to talk about who uses it, how it works, what actual factors determines your actual score through Vantage Score, and then my opinion on it. So stay tuned. Okay, so by definition, Vantage Score is a consumer credit scoring model created through a joint venture of the all three major credit bureaus, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. The model is managed and maintained by an independent company, Vantage Score Solutions LLC, that was formed in 2006 and is jointly owned by all three credit bureaus. So that's exactly what Vantage Score is. A lot of times people talk about Vantage Score and they say, oh, the score is not accurate or whatever the circumstance is. I want you to think for yourself. If it's owned by the three major credit bureaus, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, it's got to be pretty accurate, right? Let's talk about who uses it and how it works. So currently right now, who uses it? Just like with FICO Score, and not that this is going to be a comparison because I'm going to talk about FICO Score in my next video, but credit card issuers uses Vantage Score. Personal and installment loan companies, auto lenders use Vantage Score. Mortgage lenders use Vantage Score. Credit unions, banks, tenant screening, telecommunication, and utility companies use them. Consumer websites, they all use Vantage Score. How it works. Let me explain that. So how does Vantage Score work? Now, Vantage Score 4.0, since its creation, there have been 4 Vantage Scores. Vantage Score 1.0 and 2.0 used a 501 to a 900 credit score. And then they graded you through A through F. And that's how it was started originally. And then Vantage Score 3.0 and 4.0 pretty much adapted the same score as FICO Score, from a 300 to an 850 range, right? And so that was your score range. So a lot now, especially now, the Vantage Score a lot of times will correlate with your FICO Score because they use the same numbers. But there are a few things that FICO Score uses to determine number that Vantage Score does not use. Now, let's talk about how your Vantage Score 4.0 is actually determined, right? So there, in the most recent version, in the credit score, it's calculated through an average of 5 weighted factors. So 5 weighted factors that actually do it. The first factor is the total credit usage. Your total overall credit usage determines a certain percentage of it. The balance, obviously, on your accounts and so forth. And available credit. So your balances on your cards and your available credit that you actually have on those cards. Your credit mix, obviously installment loans, revolving loans, and so forth. They factor in your credit mix and experience. Age of credit history, which is very important too. So how long have you established credit? Or how long have you had a credit? And typically with revolving accounts, those are the ones you can have for a long time. And obviously mortgages, those are typically 30 years. But they want to know your actual credit history with regards to those accounts. Now, what are my opinions when it comes to Vantage Score? Now, the reality is I only know Vantage Score through Credit Karma, right? Obviously, a lot of people, you guys know about Credit Karma. It was a company that actually gives you 2 free credit reports, and they typically are year-round on those. I mean, I still have the app on my phone right now, and I go to Credit Karma and I look at the 2 credit scores. The 2 credit scores that they give you on Credit Karma is TransUnion and Equifax. It's predicated on those 5 factors that I give you, and the range is from 300 to 850. 850 being the best, 300 being very poor credit. I personally use them just to have because it's free and so forth. Now, the bad thing is if you're pulling through Credit Karma, a lot of times with your account numbers, you don't get the actual original account number, or you don't get a piece of the account number. A lot of times they just give the creditor, the original creditor, and what collection agency may have the account, but they don't give the actual account number. Now, I'm not sure if, in fact, you can actually pay Credit Karma and get more information with regards to that. I've never done that. I typically just go through freecreditreport.com, but year-round I have Credit Karma. So there are a lot of people out there who talk about Vantage Score and they say, oh, it's BS, it doesn't work. Now, for me personally, my Vantage Score is lower than my FICO score. Why is that? Obviously, these are privately owned companies. They're only going to give you so much information with regards to how they're determining your Vantage Score in this case. But majority of the time when I first started out and I had Vantage Score and I had FICO score, my Vantage Score would always be about 30 to 40 points higher. But now that I've been using Vantage Score for some time now, the reality is my FICO scores, the FICO scores that I actually use are actually a little bit higher. They're about 10 to 15 points higher, sometimes even 30 points higher, depending on the timing and what's going on. So, in my opinion, I say get Vantage Score. They're owned by the three major credit bureaus, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, which means that obviously the information and so forth that's put on there is accurate as far as what's being reported. So everything's going to be reported on your Vantage Score, because as creditors, whatever's reported to the three major credit bureaus, they're going to report it on Vantage Score. So to me, it just depends on what it is that you're using. I always say narrow in on one of those, whether you're using FICO or whether you're using Vantage Score. Narrow in on one of those and just keep it. But it never hurts to have an outside one. So I keep my Vantage Score. I have it. And I always use it every month. I go check, and around the 17th, 18th is when a lot of my stuff gets reported. Around the 25th-ish of each month is when it shows whatever has been calculated on my credit report. Is Vantage Score accurate? Yes, it is. Is it is the actual Vantage Score compatible with FICO score? Yes, it is. And as we know, lenders, credit card companies, banks, tenants, they all use Vantage Score. So don't just throw Vantage Score to the side and say it don't matter, only look at FICO score. The reality is Vantage Score is used. Now, if you have any other questions with regards to Vantage Score, with regards to credit, with regards to debt, put them down in the comment section. I'll make sure I answer them. You guys, please like and subscribe these videos. Share them with your friends and family. And as always, you be great.